Good morning, everyone. This is Jamal from, actually broadcasting from Genova in Italy. Today we're going to try and see how we can go deeper into our meditation. and try and see and watch ourselves to see how much of our conditionings we can actually become aware of, and see how we can actually rise above those conditionings and rise above our this kind of dwarf that we are inside. I mean, we are this shell which is a dwarf, the shell which is the ego, our super ego, our personal feelings, our personal habits. All those things are things that we need to try and actually rise above. So first, let's just put our hands towards Shivaji, and with the right hand, we'll just raise our Kundalini. We'll just raise our Kundalini several times. Let's try to become really aware of the presence of our Mother Kundalini inside. Not only her presence, but how much she's actually looking after us. So we can just raise our Kundalini several times with the right hand, the left hand towards Shivaji. You can put both hands towards humanity and just let us try. So we have three components within ourselves that we need to be aware of, because we tend to take them for granted. First is our Kundalini within. The next is the subtle body with the 7 energy centers. And the third is our spirit in the left heart. So we first try and see how much we can become aware, just become aware of the presence of our Mother Kundalini within. Just try and be silent for a couple of minutes in gratefulness to our own Kundalini, our own Mother, who is the reflection of Srimataji. So the next thing we're going to do is see if we can become aware, really fully aware of these 7 energy centers that are within. Our 7 energy centers, that actually reminds me that I was told of a dream of a yogi in Paris, who said that he had a dream of Mataji actually speaking to him about his 7 chakras and saying, those chakras are not yours, they're mine, and they're actually working for the whole universe. So in fact, our energy centers are not just actually whirling and rotating and clearing out and giving out energy to ourselves, but also to the whole universe. So let us just silently meditate on those energy centers, those 7 energy centers, starting with Muladhara all the way up to Sahasrara. And show that gratefulness to humanity that she has endowed us with those energy centers. And she has built this system within us, which is all the time active, alert, and sustaining our spiritual ascent. We need to do this, be absolutely relaxed about it. Now, the next thing we can do is to meditate on our third component we spoke about, which was our eternal spirit, ourselves, as we are inside, unstained, immaculate, in our left heart. We can even put our right hand on the left heart, keeping our left hand towards humanity, and just let us try to become more and more aware of the presence of our own spirit within ourselves. So our spirit is watching us, looking after us, sustaining our heart and our whole being. But we in turn can watch the spirit to let it know that we are aware of how it is looking after us and how much it is giving us energy to sustain our ascent towards the final goal in Sahasrara, and how much we are grateful to our own spirit. So you can try to be one with the silence, the divine silence of our own spirits. So we spoke of three components. Yes, our Kundalini, the seven chakras, seven energy centers, the spirit is in the middle. And of course, there is a fourth component that we need to be aware of, which is our own Sahasrara, which is the seat of Shri Adi Shakti and Shri Sadashiva at the top of the crown of our head in the fontanelle bone area. We can just actually, with the right hand, massage this area clockwise a few times, just to try and relax it, but also to become aware of this location where the Kundalini passes through, where this area is supposed to be actually soft as opposed to being calcified. You can press hard when massaging this the fontanelle bone area. Now we can keep our attention in a very relaxed way on our fontanelle, on the limbic area. Try and feel the presence of our Kundalini there. Again, in a very, very relaxed way, in a surrendered way, in a way that shows that we are completely surrendered at the feet of humanity. And we are trying to actually surrender our ego, superego, our desires, our hopes, our frustrations. We leave them at the feet of humanity. Above all, what we can do is see if we can actually rise above our ego and superego, but in a way that is, let's say, more pronounced. Try and feel that we are not this body, we are not whatever we are called, human, whatever. We are not this actually. We are the eternal spirit. And therefore we are really above this physical body. We are above the mind, we are above these thoughts. Somehow it's possible to just drop all that completely and just be in that state, again, in a completely relaxed way, knowing that humanity takes over. At this level, she takes over completely. We can just go into that silence of Sahasrara and stay there for a few minutes. Just trying to feel humanity's love and care and comforting powers of humanity. But let's not try to meditate, but let's try to be in the state of meditation. Let's not think of meditation, but let's just allow meditation to take over our inner being, our inner awareness. Let's try to be as effortless as possible. Yeah, Shri, we can have Mataji's talk. I'll just put myself on mute.
Yesterday, you had asked me for the status of a guru. It's a state. It is not a status because status is external, can be bestowed upon anyone, and anybody can say that this is your status. For something external merit or something, you can give a status to a person. It is a state. State means the innate being evolved to that level that you become the master. Of course, you have to be your own master to begin with, no doubt. If you are not even your own master, then how you can achieve that state? Now, as I say, it is innate. Then one starts thinking, if it is innate in a such way, how do we achieve? There are certain faculties which we have to develop to begin with. The first faculty is if we can become thoughtless. In meditation, you can become thoughtless for a short time. Gradually, this short time should go on increasing, that you are without any thought. This happens also, as we can say, is a state. But how do we achieve that again? Because human beings cannot understand that anything can happen spontaneously. It has to be done, something has to be done. For that, in Sahaj, we have something very, very simple, that you have got a mantra as nirvichar. So now you watch anything, saying the mantra, Tameva Sakshat Nirvichar. Then you will start seeing that, witnessing that, without thinking. Just see, witness. Just seeing itself creates that state within us. The first state is very important, that you become the witness, the sakshi. As soon as you become the sakshi, the whole thing, whatever you are seeing, gives you the complete idea, subtle as well as gross, of that thing. You see it and you know it. And as a Sahajogi, it becomes your knowledge. We can say in the modern terminology that you see something, it gets recorded in your mind and it manifests joy. It manifests knowledge. It manifests compassion, whatever may the situation. Because now you have many dimensions which you have to develop. These dimensions are to be developed. Now supposing you go and meet someone with whom you have to deal. He is talking. Just become thoughtless. So now what is the thing that will happen as soon as you become thoughtless? First, his thoughts, his bombardment will not touch you because you are in different realm altogether. But in that realm, your power will manifest. It may cool him down, it may shut him down, or maybe he may just feel tremendous love for you. So the word Guru means gravity. That the Mother Earth has gravity. In the same, a person who is a Guru has to have the gravity. But how do you develop this gravity? Some people just artificially become very grave and sometimes show that they are very serious or something like that. Gravity is within yourself. In the second state, we should say, of Guru Pada, is your gravity must manifest. As you become the witness, your gravity starts expressing itself. It will not show as temper or seriousness or anything like that, but it will manifest in a way that the whole thing will become extremely dignified and majestic. It will just manifest by itself. So the state in which you rise now becomes effective. Before this, it was not. You had to all the time manipulate, say this, say that. But in your silence, you can manifest your gravity. And this gravity is extremely, it acts like a magnet. As you know, there's a magnet in the Mother Earth that we call as the gravity by which people are attracted. We are resting on this Mother Earth because of her gravity. Everything is attracted to Mother Earth because of her gravity. So you get a magnetic temperament, magnetic character, magnetic personality. And this magnetic personality that you develop immediately shows that it is manifesting its power. Try to understand. Like the light now is coming on me. It's just giving light. But it is not manifesting anything. We can see the sun's rays is the best example. Sun's rays, when they fall onto the leaves, the rays, which look simple, manifest. their power of making it into chlorophyll. In the same way, when you are at that height or at that state, then without saying anything, without doing anything, even a glance, you manifest. But not only that, but you record everything. So many people must have noticed that I seldom forget things. Like once I was traveling and I saw some red stones near Sangamner. When I said that why not we have some red stones for Pratishthan, they said but there are no red stones in the whole of Maharashtra. I said there are? Where? I said go on the way up, you'll find them near Sangamner. They said we have travelled so much that we've never seen. I said I don't know what you are seeing, what you are watching. I have definitely seen. When they went there, they saw mountains and mountains of this red stone. And they never noticed it even. So now, when you start witnessing something without thought, there is no obstruction for absorbing the knowledge about that thing, because there is no thought. Complete absorption takes place. And then it manifests. This is how the divine power works within us. So, with our gravity, what we do is to touch that depth within us which can carry the divine power and manifest. Unless and until we touch that depth within us, Sahaja Yoga is like Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Nothing better than that. And that's why I find so many Sahaja Yogis sometimes really go off their rails suddenly, because they have no gravity to go down into their own being and to feel the beauty and the glory of their own being and to use that gravity for manifesting divine power. We could say that supposing there is a vehicle which is very weak, which is not yet properly fixed, can not be used for something substantial. And the most substantial thing in your lives is this divine power, which looks very light. You never feel the weight of this divine power. You will never feel the pressure of this divine power. But if you are not clean, if your channel is not clean, then this divine power cannot flow properly. It cannot manifest. So when we say that we are the instrument of God Almighty, then like this instrument we are, now we are connected to the mains. If this instrument is not all right, then it cannot manifest whatever it is supposed to do. But we are much above all these ordinary instruments, even the most complicated, even the most advanced and developed by science. Because we reach a state where we ourselves become the science of truth and absolute truth. So what is needed for a guru is self-esteem. This is a very important point people don't realize. The self-esteem. To achieve the self-esteem, we have to introspect and know that today I am not what I was before. I am a realized soul. I have got powers. Of course I have powers. Powers of love, powers of compassion, powers of grasping things, powers of creativity, powers of giving realizations to others. Nobody had these powers. But somehow or other in Sahaja Yoga, we are not self-conscious. And we should not be self-conscious because that can give you ego. But we should have self-esteem. I am a guru. I am a guru. I am not an ordinary person. I am not on the street. I am something special. I am on the shores of truth. I have to salvage the people who are blind, who are mad, all kinds of things. In the most chaotic conditions, this world is today. So at that time, when there will be any such crisis, immediately will become extremely silent. But this is again a state I am telling. So now, if there is something that makes you upset or makes you unhappy, try to reach that point, that axis, which is just silence. And this silence will make you really powerful. Because this silence is not only yours. Silence, you are in the silence of the cosmos. Silence of the cosmos. And the silence of the cosmos works for you. You are in connection with that cosmic power, we can call it, but it's more than that, it's divine power, I should say. Divine power which is working all the cosmos also. So if you just become silent within yourself, know that you are sitting in the kingdom of God. It's like this. When, say, you get the great honor of becoming a king, then you walk up to your throne and you sit down and look around and you feel the silence of the state that now you are the king. This silence is the sign that you are definitely you are now in contact with the divine. You are silent because the divine is going to look after everything. You don't have to do anything, just keep silent. But not forcibly, it's again a state. See, if any turmoil takes place, any problem takes place, suddenly your attention will jump onto that silence. And once you jump onto that silence, you being in contact with this whole all-pervading power. Now when I talk about all-pervading power, we still don't understand what it is. What it means, this all pervading power of love? Is it some sort of an energy floating around? Or is it some sort of a river or some sort of a ether? It is the complete, the totality of reality. Complete totality of reality is this all pervading power. Other things are unreal. And the reality is so efficient. It is so efficient, it never fails, like this mic.
Maybe Kasturi, you can have that music in low volume. What we can do now is go into that silence of Sahasrara as much as we can by surrendering to the powers, those divine powers of Shri Mataji in the Sahasrara itself, which is the last and fourth component we wanted to speak about, which is Sahasrara being like a flower. And there's someone actually who spoke of an experience he had where he could see his Sahasrara opening like a flower with all its petals, and then seeing Lord Sadashiva actually lean down to smell that flower. So we have, in the same way, what we can do is to try and open that Sahasrara like a flower. For Shrimadaji to just lean down and actually smell the beautiful fragrance of our Sahasrara. So we can all go into that silence and let the music also help in putting us into that mood of divine silence. We can all have a bundle together, sorry. Just raise our Kundalini and give ourselves a horseshoe movement to protect ourselves. So thank you all very much for having followed this meditation. And wish you a good day. Wish you a blissful day. Just say goodbye to you.
All of you are in my heart. And I love you very much. And I want you people to come as soldiers to fight with me. It's possible with the power of love.